The age of pirates is fading. Only the most ruthless are still out there. A pirate crew suddenly storms a fishing vessel. Chaos erupts in seconds. Screams, gunshots, blood across the deck. The ship's captain has a few gold bars on board. Sensing danger, he orders the documents burned. But it's too late. The pirates kill everyone they can and take Captain Bodden alive. They find a gold bar stamped with the mark of their leader, Captain Connor. That gold was stolen from him years ago. They question Bodden, who gave him the gold. He stays silent. Then the logbook reveals the ship sailed from Cayman Brac. Connor wastes no time and turns his ship toward Cayman Brac. 6 days later, on the shores of Cayman Brac, people gather and pray for Captain Bodden and his crew to return safely. His wife stands at the water's edge, staring at the horizon, still holding on to hope. But there's no sign of the ship. Captain Bodden also has a sister, Lizzie. She's in love with a local boy and lives in her own small world of dreams. They both want to leave this tiny island one day and see the world. What they don't know is that Captain Connor is heading straight for them, and he's bringing destruction with him. Meanwhile, Captain Bodden's disabled son, Isaac, is deeply worried about his father. It's been 59 days since he left. He had promised to return before Isaac's birthday. Now, another ship is being prepared to go search for him. Isaac's mother, Ursel, tries to comfort him. She tells him his dad will come back. Then she gives him his birthday gift, a dagger his father left behind. That blade carries its own old story. At the same time, Captain Connor's fleet quietly reaches the island. They run into Lizzie's boyfriend and kill him on the spot. Lizzie has no idea. She's already made plans to leave the island with him. Late at night, she leaves a note and slips out of the house, but the doorbell makes Ursel suspicious. She checks Lizzie's room and realizes intruders are inside the house. She quickly locks the main door with an iron bar and hides her son in the basement. The pirates climb onto the roof and break in from above. Ursel fires at them, but it doesn't help. Within seconds, they overpower her. They demand money. Behind a picture frame, they find a box filled with coins, but that's not what they want. They're after gold. Ursel insists that's all she has, but they don't believe her. She tries to run when she sees an opening, but they grab her again. They force her mouth open, looking for answers. The next morning, Lizzie finds her boyfriend's body. She breaks down, screaming. At the harbor, the custody notices a stranger arriving. He steps in and questions him, who he is, where he's from, and why he's here. The man introduces himself as Captain Francisco Connor. He claims he's seeking shelter after surviving a storm, but seeing his fleet approach the island makes Pastor Bradley uneasy. He immediately gathers the townspeople and moves them to the church. The custody already knows Connor's reputation, a ruthless pirate, the bloodiest enemy of the British Empire. Connor has an old score to settle with T.H. Bodden's wife. The custody declares he won't let Connor or his men move freely. Gunfire erupts. A cannon is aimed at the pirate's boat, but before it can fire, a sniper from Connor's crew takes out the gunner. Connor himself moves through the chaos with deadly precision, picking off people one by one. Meanwhile, one of the pirate scouts returns with news. Bodden's wife has been captured. Soon after, they also learn about Isaac's presence. At that moment, Ursel speaks to them in their own language and warns them. The pirates hesitate for a second, surprised, but they don't back down. Ursel finally breaks free from their grip and turns into a storm. The two pirates fight back with everything they have, but she still kills them both. Meanwhile, Connor and his men take control of the harbor. They capture the custode and begin questioning him. Instead of fear, he smiles and says the British Navy patrols these waters, and no one here will leave alive today. The pirates aren't shaken. They see themselves as the last and most feared of their kind. They know how to deal with the Navy. Still, Connor asks one thing. How do they signal the British for help? The custode stays silent, so Connor turns a cannon toward the church, where dozens of innocent people are hiding. Forced to speak, the custode reveals the truth. They send a smoke signal from the highest hill to call for help. But telling the truth doesn't save him. Connor blames him for all the deaths so far and executes him with a cannon shot in front of everyone. Watching this, Lizzie panics and runs back home. At the same time, a pirate scout arrives with news that Captain Bodden's wife has been captured, though by then, Ursel has already escaped. She pulls Isaac out of hiding and starts preparing to leave. Just then, Pastor Bradley arrives. He tells her everything that happened at the harbor, the massacre, the bloodshed. He suspects this might be the same captain they've been hiding from for years, but Ursel is convinced he's wrong. Pastor Bradley still believes Captain Bloody Mary could save them. Bloody Mary. That's what they once called Ursel. She sharply warns him never to mention that name in front of her son again. Right now, survival is the only priority. They need to reach higher ground and send a signal to the British Navy. Then they find the letter Lizzie left behind. After reading it, Ursel knows she has to go after her. Before leaving, she tells Pastor Bradley to meet at the hill path near the tree marked with a moon symbol. They split up and head in different directions. Soon, pirates pirates move close to the house. Ursel hides in the bushes. Meanwhile, Lizzie is exhausted from running. Everywhere she looks, there are pirates. She has no idea where to go. Suddenly, Ursel grabs her from behind and scolds her for trying to run away with that fool, Weston. Lizzie breaks down. Weston is dead. They killed him. Ursel steadies her and makes it clear, if they get caught, the same will happen to them. There's only one option now. They have to cut through the forest and reach the hill, where Isaac and the pastor are waiting. Meanwhile, Quartermaster Lee's men search the entire house. No sign of Bloody Mary. No gold either. Furious, Lee gives a kill order. He sends shooters to all four corners of the island with one command: anyone helping Mary gets shot on sight. Connor takes a closer look inside the house. That's when he learns Bloody Mary has a son who can't walk. They start following the wheelchair tracks in the dirt. On the other side, Ursel reaches Pastor Bradley with Lizzie, but one major obstacle stands in their way: a canal full of crocodiles. Ursel had prepared for this. She had hidden a small boat there long ago, just in case. Lizzie and Isaac cross first. Then Ursel makes it across. When it's Pastor Bradley's turn, pirates surround him from every side. Bradley surrenders, and then the truth comes out. Years ago, Bradley used to sail under Captain Connor, but he chose to side with Captain Bloody Mary instead. He helped steal Connor's gold and escape. Now the debt is due. They demand he reveal Bloody Mary's location. Meanwhile, Bloody Mary sends Lizzie and Isaac toward the hill, then turns back. She's going to save Bradley. Connor shoots Bradley in the legs. Then they spot Bloody Mary up in a tree ahead. They open fire. She loses balance and falls. Seeing this, Bradley shoots one of them to draw attention, but he's killed right after. The pirates move into the canal, unaware of the crocodiles. Some are dragged under. Others make it across. Once inside the jungle, it turns into a hunt. The order is to capture Bloody Mary alive, but that's easier said than done. She didn't earn that name by accident. When she picks up a weapon, blood follows. One by one, she wipes out every pirate who crossed the canal. On the other side, Captain Connor stands, watching. Finally, he calls out to her. If Bloody Mary surrenders, he says, he'll spare her and her family. But Mary doesn't flinch. She throws a severed head at his feet. A clear message. The war isn't over. Connor claims he wants to avoid more bloodshed. He offers a deal: return the stolen gold. And Captain Theodore H. Bodden walks free. He swears Bodden is still alive on his ship, desperate to see his family again. The deal is made. Bloody Mary agrees to hand over the gold by evening. Connor and his men pull back and return to Mary's house to wait. Meanwhile, Mary reaches her hideout, built into the mountain trees. For Lizzie and Isaac, it feels unreal. The cave is designed like a ship from the inside. There's even a trap set at the door that leads below. Lizzie can't hold back anymore. She asks the question straight: who is this man trying to kill us? And how is Ursel so skilled at killing? That's when the truth comes out. Years ago, Francisco Connor worked for the East India Trading Company, taking control of territories. He was already a ruthless pirate. Back at the harbor, Quartermaster Lee's men still doubt whether Bloody Mary is really that dangerous. Lee shuts them down. He says her name has carried fear since before they were even born. She had her own ship. She was Connor's equal. She stabbed him, stole his gold, and disappeared. Ursel's past runs deep. When she was 12, her family's ship was raided. Her parents were killed, and she was taken. She grew up as forced labor among pirates. Over time, she built her own reputation. That's how Bloody Mary was born. In her prime, her name alone was enough to scare men. Now, Ursel has pulled out the chest filled with gold. At the same time, her husband has been brought off Connor's ship. All that's left is to wait for evening, when the deal will be made. Meanwhile, Ursel rigs the gold chest with explosives. She's going in fully prepared. She puts on the old Bloody Mary outfit, loads her guns, straps on ammo, and gives Isaac one clear instruction: keep the boat ready. Once she's done explaining, she takes the gold and heads out. Back at the house, Captain Connor is telling stories about Bloody Mary. He says one night, 3 sailors tried to force their way into her cabin. The next morning, their private parts were hanging from a rope. Violence ran in her veins. She was once Connor's favorite. They were close. But Captain Bodden doesn't buy that. If they were that close, why would she stab him? Connor has been asking himself the same question for years. Why did she stab him and run off with his gold? Inside the cave, Lizzie finds a book about Bloody Mary's past. It details all her exploits. Meanwhile, Ursel reaches the well near the house. She plants bombs quietly and takes out anyone who crosses her path. One by one, the guards go down. She moves beneath the house, eliminates the lookout, out and slips inside through the lower passage. The guards inside meet the same fate. Finally, she reaches Bodden. His chains aren't easy to break, but he isn't worried about himself. He's worried about his son and his sister. Ursel assures him they're safe, waiting by the river. At the center of it all was Bodden. He blamed himself. If he hadn't taken that piece of gold to pay for Isak's treatment, none of this would have happened. But Ursel couldn't focus on regret. She was focused on survival. Bodden's chains still wouldn't come off. Then the whistle signals inside the house, the ones meant to confirm guard positions, suddenly stopped. That meant one thing. Bloody Mary was here. The pirates searched the house and broke the door down, but she wasn't inside. She had already set bombs around the property. The pull cords were in her hand. She gave them a warning. Anyone who moves dies. One pirate ignored it and paid the price. Connor had no choice but to negotiate. Mary pulled the chest from the well and dumped the gold out in front of them. In return, Bodden was released. The deal was done. But the truth came out. Connor hadn't come for the gold at all. Lee was furious. He had gathered men for gold, not for this. Connor revealed the real reason. He was the one who had taken Mary in when she was 12. He had saved her from execution, trained her, made her strong, and she repaid him by stabbing him and stealing his gold. Now he wanted revenge, not on her, but on her helpless son. Bodden snapped and lunged at him with a knife. Gunfire exploded around them. As Bodden and Connor fought, Mary triggered her bombs from the side, turning the ground into chaos. Lee rushes her with a sword. She gets locked in a fight with him, and in that moment Connor overpowers Bodden. Just as he's about to drive the sword into Bodden's chest, Mary offers to surrender. Connor doesn't stop. He kills Bodden right in front of her. Mary is shot too. Both of them are left helpless, watching everything fall apart. Mary somehow gets back on her feet, but Connor doesn't plan to give her a quick death. There's a bounty on Bloody Mary's head. He wants her alive. That's when Mary throws a torch onto the gold chest. The explosion rips through the area. Gold flies everywhere. Several pirates are caught in the blast. Mary dives into the well and escapes. Moments later, the well collapses under debris. Later, from Ursel's old journal, the truth comes out. It was Connor who attacked her ship years ago. His men took everything from her. They killed her parents. She carried that wound for years. One day, she got her chance. She stabbed Connor in the chest, stole his gold, and went into hiding. During that time, she met Captain Bodden. He knew her past and still chose to marry her. They built a quiet life together. And now, wounded and bleeding, Ursel finds her way back to them. Meanwhile, a tension breaks out between Lee and Captain Connor. Lee only wanted the gold, but Connor's obsession with Mary got Lee's son killed. He refuses to lose more men for Connor's personal revenge. He orders his crew to pull back. Connor shoots him on the spot. Then Connor shows the remaining pirates an official decree sealed by the British Crown. It clearly states, any pirate who hands over Bloody Mary will receive a full pardon, no charges, no hangings, freedom to sail again. That changes everything. Lee's men switch sides. The hunt for Bloody Mary begins. Back in the cave, Mary treats her wounds. She tells them the truth. Isaac's father is gone. If they're captured, they'll be killed too. They have two options: light the signal fire on the hill and wait for the British Navy, or escape quietly by boat. But Mary knows Connor won't stop chasing them. Not ever. So, she decides this ends here. She knows every corner of this cave. No one will take her down easily. Still, she gives Isaac clear instructions. If anything goes wrong, take the boat and find the British. As they talk, she plants ammunition and traps across the cave, preparing for the final fight. Soon a scout finds the cave and sends word to the captain. One pirate tries to turn the wheel and open the door. A bullet tears through his head. Still, the rest force the door open and rush inside. From above, Mary unleashes heavy gunfire. It's a distraction. At the same time, Lizzie lights the rope. Ammunition rains down on the pirates. Most of them are killed instantly. Connor arrives with the remaining men. A fierce firefight erupts, but no one can land a shot on Bloody Mary. Instead, she warns them. The next one who steps forward dies first. Meanwhile, the scout grabs Lizzie. Before he can drag her away, Isaac slashes his hand with the dagger. In the struggle, Lizzie spots her boyfriend's locket around the scout's neck. She instantly knows he killed Weston. They manage to break free and run. Inside the dark cave, while the pirates struggle to understand the layout, Mary moves like a storm. One by one, she wipes them out. The scout catches Lizzie again, but this time, she traps him and finishes him off. Revenge is done. Connor finally realizes the truth. They can't kill Bloody Mary inside her own fortress, so he calls her out. The final reckoning will happen outside the cave. As they circle each other, Connor's eyes land on the stacked wood atop the hill. He sets it on fire himself, sending a signal to the British Navy. It's clear, Tonight, he either turns Mary in for the bounty or dies trying. Then the duel begins. Steel clashes, sparks fly. Master and student, every strike answered with another. Neither gives an inch. In the end, Mary falls. Connor stands over her, ready to finish it. Suddenly, Lizzie storms in and opens fire. Connor's focus breaks for a split second, and that's all Mary needs. She rises and drives the final blow. Connor falls. Down by the shore, Isek has already pushed the boat into the water. He waits, and then notices a chest filled with gold. Far out at sea, the British Navy is already sailing toward the island.